As Dan had done earlier the past, I am doing the present, and our pastor will be doing the future. Well, we had the spirit of the past, and the spirit of the present, and the spirit of the future. Came to Scrooge, and was able to give them an idea of his life, basically. Well, I'm going to try to give that the church's life as it is today, but I need to go back a couple of years before I do that. Now, our church has quite the history, and when you look back at the 168 years, that's even before the Civil War. Imagine. But we have come a long way, and we are still standing and are still strong. But are we strong? Now, I'm not talking about strength in numbers. What I'm saying is strength in commitment, discipleship, and love. We always say that we love this church, and it certainly shows. But I would like to go back just a few short years. Right before the COVID pandemic, Mount Zion continually strived to be the kind of church that our Finksburg and beyond community recognized as a staple in our community that was there for those in need. Whether it be financial support or spiritual support, Mount Zion has always been a caring and supporting church. Now, we have always been a welcoming church as well. And I have known that since day one when I came to this church. But we had a pretty good Sunday attendance too, and there's always seems to be something going on here. And when I look at today's attendance, it kind of reminds me of the way it used to be. We're almost there. So particularly our members and neighbors who came out in big numbers, we had back for the pancake brunch, or breakfast, we had that in the spring and also in the fall. And our vacation summer school was always an enjoyable time for the youth in our community. Our social hall is available to groups such as NA and AA. And well, unfortunately, the pandemic changed all that. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is probably the first time we closed our doors to Sunday worship. Then our creative minds got together and came up with a partial solution, and it was always right there in front of us. With the help of a few church members, video technology, and YouTube, our video service was established. Slowly, our in-person Sunday worship service started back up. That was started back up downstairs in the fellowship hall. Face masks were required, and we had to distance ourselves 6 feet apart. Remember that? But we started opening our doors again eventually. And the video service continued, particularly for those who wanted to be cautious. But it also was for those who were homebound and couldn't make it in, But then in time, we moved our service up here in the sanctuary, but face masks and social distancing was still required if you needed or wanted to attend. Now, I don't think that we really got the social distancing done the way it was supposed to be when we were up here, but all that really didn't matter. We just wanted to get back to a sense of normalcy. And eventually, everything started to become normal again, except for one thing, attendance. Our numbers remained down, and this was certainly a concern. We kept up with our weekly video worship service, and at least that was one way to reach our shut-ins and our homebounds. But it also reached viewers from out of state who would send in financial support. In July of 2023, our video worship service ended because our long-term pastor, Lou Peel, was to begin his well-earned second retirement. Thank you, Lou. And that's after 16 years of plus being here at Mount Zion. He was only supposed to be here for 6 months, but that was never happened. Now, the district superintendent that we have now is Ann LaPrade, had the responsibility of finding Mount Zion a replacement. The solution, not particularly the one we wanted at that time, was to go into the co-op. It was Mount Zion UMC became Mount Zion North Carroll Cooperative Parish, or NCCP, something our church members really did not want. Fortunately, it was agreed that Mount Zion will be assigned a permanent half-time pastor.
Amen.
We were not really sure how that we were going to be able to do that. It was more of a rotation thing that they were looking at doing. But then in July of 2023, we welcomed Pastor Sean Fulmerhausen to the pulpit. And then when we joined the co-op, we insisted that we did not want to have that revolving pastor. We were strong about that, but we needed a permanent one. Now, we are grateful for that. However, we believe by remaining in this co-op that we would lose our independence. Understandably, we realize the necessity because there is a shortage of clergy. But after consideration and meeting with the DS, Reverend LeProt, we were able to explain that Mount Zion would have better chance of growth to remain independent of the co-op. Also, we have returned to videoing our Sunday morning worship service, as you see with the camera over there, with Peggy. And this way, we can continue to send out the message to our homebound and shut-ins and our distant viewers. So as of July 2024, coming up, Mount Zion will no longer be in the NCCP, and we look forward to a new beginning of what's to come.
Amen.